Hi. Hello. And good time zone. What is up, gamers? Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hello, hello. It's lovely to see you. And hi. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're having a good Monday. I hope your week is going well so far. And if you notice that anything is missing from the stream, don't tell me. I already know and I'm fixing it as I speak. Anyways, hi, everybody. Welcome. What a day, huh? What a week. I don't know. Anyways, I've had an interesting day so far. I got some annoying news, and then I got some really, really good news. The good news, the annoying news I won't bother you with, because it's not relevant. But there we go, the good news. The good news. There we go, the good news is that Hollow Knight Art Month, prompt list has been released. This is extra good news for me because I'm going to be away for almost 2 weeks of the month of May, which means once again, for the second time in a Hollow Knight Art Month, I am going to need to aggressively speed run a number of prompts that will be happening over days that I'm not going to have my usual setup, and I'm not going to be able to stream. So I'm going to have to get them done ahead of time. Oh, joyous. It's not the exact, because last time I was just gone for like the last 2 weeks of May. This time I'm going to be gone for like a chunk in the middle. I'm leaving on the 10th and I'm coming back on like the 22nd. Which means that I'm going to have a lot of, a reasonably sized period that I'm going to need to try and get done ahead of time. Speed run, as it were. But I don't want to compromise on artistic quality and all that jazz, but I do, as this is for anyone who doesn't know, this is like a 31-day art prompt list, and each day has a different prompt relating in some way to Hollow Knight or Silksong, the video games. I still haven't finished Silksong, so yay! Thankfully, there isn't really anything in it that's too spoilery, but like, I'm gonna get spoilered doing this art month. Just having to look stuff up in like hollowknight.wiki, I'm gonna get spoilered. I know this. I thought I was gonna be done the game by now. But no. No. Probably not I don't know. Am I like 50% done? I have absolutely no idea what percentage done I am. Not very much, I don't think. So yeah, that's great, and I'm really excited about that, but at least I'm hoping that having these prompts to work from will break me out of the art block that I've been in for the last couple of weeks. I've been having art block. It's not fun. 0 out of 10. Womp womp. Do not recommend. It sucks butt. But I'm hopeful that just actually having like words to go from will be helpful for that. And I hope lots of other people participate as well. I can't wait to see how other people decide to do it. I'm probably going to do it the same way I do it every year. Get a set of paints and do a bunch of paintings. Tell myself that I'm going to do things relatively simple and sketchy, and then do like a bunch of pieces with super detailed, fully rendered backgrounds and stuff. Like, it is what it is, and it is exactly what it will be. I'm gonna bring up the prompt list for this year in case you are curious and want to. I don't think there's anything particularly spoilery in it, unless you've like never played the games and all and want to go in completely blind. In which case, just don't look at the screen, I guess, when it's up. But I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big of a. My moderator / spouse has just come home. So, I'm gonna leave the prompt list up for a minute while I go say hello to my moderator / spouse. I'll be back in just a second. It's very cute. I know, baby, but it's very cute. I love you so much, and I'm glad you're home. Great news, everyone. My moderator / spouse is home. But yeah. So I've only had this list for like 2 hours, so I haven't really had that much of an opportunity to like brainstorm much, I guess. But I have some vague ideas and some I'm already stewing some like stupid thoughts about how I can ways you can use certain prompt words against the text, as it were. It's like, what could vessel mean? I mean, we know what vessel means in the context of the lore, but it's also just something that you can drink a cup of coffee out of. And so I could just have that be my coffee shop AU piece. Listen, I've done it before, and I have absolutely no problem with doing it again. Anyway, so that's the list. I don't think there's anything on there that I'm not going to be able to think of something to do. I tend to do a lot of pieces that feel like they could be screen caps from the game in terms of, like, composition and stuff. I'd love to maybe play with that a little bit more, like, sort of break out of the 2D-ness of the 2D platformer. But with that being said, I also have a very stupid brain, which, because we're only seeing the setting of the games from the single, like, fixed camera angle because it's 2D, if you ask me, like, what would you see if you were in Hornet's POV and you turned in, like, that direction and you were running in the direction that she's actually running on screen? My answer would be, I genuinely cannot even begin to conceive of it. Because whilst I'm aware of the fact that nominally there's, like, landscape to the other side of her that's not, like, the background that we see, like, where the camera is, in my brain, that's where I am. So there's nothing there. There's just, you'd be looking at me holding an Xbox controller in my pajamas with a headset with a mic on, you know? I literally, my brain can't fill in what is in the spaces that we can't see in the game. I'm very stupid, apparently. This is embarrassing. But the other thing is, I'm also aware of the fact that I'm going to be away for almost half of this month. So I'm pressed for time if I want to complete the challenge. And I do want to complete it because I've done it 3 years running, I think. I think that's the years that it's been running. And I've done all of them. And I'd love to do it again because it's really fun. If you're curious as to what my Hollow Knight art looks like, hold on. It's probably just faster if I bring up the tab in my shop. So, just FYI, I also have a shop. Yay! Yippee skippy. Anyways, I'm very tired today, can you tell? Please don't say yes. But yeah, I also have a shop, which looks like this. And this is what some of my art looks like. As you can see, extremely serious, extremely canonical artworks. We've got, obviously, you know, sort of Hornets on skis, having a nice alpine adventure. We've got Splish Splush, the little knight, having a little paddle in the fountain. We've got the Lost Kin, because it's just it's just, that game is so full of Fanta. I had to acknowledge it. We've got, oh yes, they got a little booster seat for the knight so that they could sit with the Vantis lords and drink blue milk lattes as you do. This medieval-inspired piece of Hornet, which you'll recognize the portrait if you've seen any of my recent Silksong streams. And, geez, what else? Oh yeah, the Poppins. This was before Silksong released, by the way, that I painted the Poppins. We got a teaser of a sprite sheet for Hornet's character in Silksong, and I was like, and I saw that she made this, like, shape with her poncho, not knowing what it meant or what it would do. I was just like, aw, geez, I gotta draw it. It looks like she's floating down like Mary Poppins and Order, and then she does that, and I love this game. Anyways, but also, oh yeah, last time I was in Toronto, I was reminded of the fact that Toronto has a Shaw Street, so I drew this portrait of Hornet on a TTC tram waiting to get off at Shaw Street, obviously. This was, oh yes, hanging out with Quirrell at the Blue Lake, having a little picnic. They've got some sausage rolls and sandwiches and a bit of fruit, and obviously some limited edition blue raspberry fight milk, as you do. And then just me complaining about Markoth and his too many swords. Anyways, you get the idea. This one's got gold on it. The medieval one also optionally has gold on it, because I like shiny things. But yeah, it's the kind of stupid nonsense that I get up to. I don't know. I don't know why nobody's bought this print. They're all extremely limited. I don't know why nobody likes this one. It's so gay. You should like it more. Anyways. But yeah, so Hollow Knight Art Month is coming up, and I'm nervous. I'll probably try and start sketching things, like, tonight or tomorrow. No, I'll probably play Silk Song tonight, because my brain is going to need to decompress, and I'll probably start painting tomorrow, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't really have any super strong concrete ideas based on the prompts yet. I think it's a very fertile ground, word-wise, for a lot of options and possibilities and things that I've already spoilered myself for in parts of Silk Song that I haven't visited because I was looking something else up in the wiki. So, I thought I'd be done the game by now. I really did. I really and truly did. I don't know how far I am into it, but here we are. Anyways, if you're not here for Hollow Knight or Silk Song stuff and you're just here to watch me paint, apologies for that. I'm gonna start doing that now, I guess. So for the uninitiated, this is a little goblin, who I sometimes play in Dungeons and Dragons. Their name is Unner, and they, are a goblin blacksmith who makes knives for a living. And, it turns out are also a sorcerer who can do, like, magic and stuff. They are super cute and very fun and extremely polite and, like, an extremely cool individual, as evidenced by the fact that they are wearing, as you can see, a sick leather biker vest. Which I believe they bought from, was it? I want to say it was a Bugbear tailor that they met in their travels. I think it was a Bugbear. Anyways, a very nice fellow. Very, very well dressed. If you're gonna buy something from a tailor, I feel like you've got to, you know, it's a ringing endorsement if they themselves are well dressed. If they're not well dressed, I've got questions. You know, it's like, did you make that? Because it's bad. Anyways, I'm realizing that my hands are a little bit dry, so I'm going to pre-moisturize before I continue painting this. But this is the London Overground. And I think I've mentioned this on previous iterations of the stream, where last stream we started working on this, that I wanted to paint a goblin riding the Gospel Oak to Barking line of the London Overground, because it used to colloquially, and I really hope it is still colloquially known as it has a different official name because they rebranded all of the different lines of the Overground a couple of years ago. But it used to be known as the Goblin. If you were going between Gospel Oak and Barking, Gospel Oak to Barking line, Goblin. Which I think is adorable. And I've just had this stupid idea in my mind for years to draw a goblin on the goblin. So that's why Ono is in London, despite the fact that they are from like a fantasy land where there isn't a London per se. I don't know. They can shift into our dimension to visit this specific portion of London. Why not? I don't know. Anyways, I have 3 beverages today, by the way. Believe it or not, I've only had half a cup of coffee, despite the fact that I'm like this verbose. I'll probably stop talking soon. I don't know. But, yeah. How's everybody doing? I hope you are well. It's lovely to see you all. My coffee remains delicious. This is... I don't remember what this is. Never mind. I can't remember what I bought, but it's good. It was a V60 filter coffee. And uncharacteristically, I'm having it with semi-skimmed milk instead of skimmed milk. Normally I'd have skimmed milk, but they only had semi-skimmed in the shop. So we're making do. I do like semi-skimmed in my coffee, but I think the taste of it is being more affected by the fact that it's got semi-skimmed in it as a filter coffee. And that's affecting how I'm tasting it more so than, like, what the tasting notes were. Not sure. It has a nice bit of acidity. Anyways, there's much weirder stuff in London than goblins in multiple senses of the term, says Moriax. I mean, you're so right. Also, hi, hello, welcome in. And Perrin, thank you very much for the lurk as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you are well. Okay. I've kind of been on the, like, of what the heck I should paint next in this piece. And I think I'm going to have to go in and attempt to start doing the seat moquette. The seat moquette is going to take some time, and I will show you why. If you're not familiar with taking public transit, most of like the seat patterns on London trains are quite let me see if I can get this stock photo a bit bigger so you can see. Quite visually detailed. There's a lot of little bits to the patterning. So this is an example of this is the seat maquette on the London Overground. This isn't, I think, the exact one that we're painting, but you get the idea. It's a very busy pattern, and I picked the paint palette that I did because it has a lot of oranges and browns and sort of ochre hues, because I feel like I'll be able to get a nice seat maquette out of, like, this sort of orange with this brown and a little bit of green. I think would be very nice. But man, it's going to be a real pain in the backside to paint, let me tell you, because I might need to simplify the pattern a bit, because honestly, just looking over what it looks like is kind of doing my brain in. It's very complicated. Why is it so complicated? That's mean. That's so mean. I mean, you know, also, I made this choice. I can complain to no one but my own self. Because I was the one who decided that I wanted to paint some like seat maquette. But yeah, I think I want to do like the standard one that's got green in it, just because I think it's the prettiest in terms of a range of colors. So I do believe that's what I'm going to do. Okay, this one's got a good. I'm just going to pull up a reference photo for myself so I can, like, look at it while we're doing our thing. 'Cause it is quite a detailed pattern, and I want to make sure that, you know, I'm at least kind of getting somewhere in the vicinity of doing it justice. There's actually a little bit of a weird sort of, like, stripy section that's got some yellow inside it. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do that bit. Hi, sweetheart. Mwah. Sorry, my moderator/spouse just walked past, and I love him. Anyways, I don't know how much I'm going to do the tiny stripes in one of the, like, the segments. It's just, it's a weird, I don't even know how I describe this pattern, but it's got, like, a weird sort of almost glitched out look to it. It's very cool. But also, it's kind of breaking my brain how I'm going to actually interpret this. I might make it a little bit larger here than it is in real life. Just also because of the scale of this piece. I think sometimes you have to balance as a painter, sometimes you have to know when it's time to not go super granular into detail and kind of just extrapolate stuff or use shorthands for things. You know, I think I've talked about this before on stream, but if you look, for instance, at my PNG tuber here, I haven't drawn every single hair on the PNG tuber's head, because A, that would be like incredibly laborious, and it has the potential to look so busy that even though there's like an insane amount of detail and work that goes into that, it ends up looking bad and just kind of a visual mess. In the same way that, you know, sometimes when someone's wearing certain types of like very finely striped garments, and then like you take a photo of it and it goes all like because the camera's having trouble interpreting these, or like the display more likely is having trouble interpreting that level of detail. Hi Sunshine, my moderator / spouse has just walked past again. How's it going, my love? You feeling all right? Cool. You comfy? Anyways, sorry, he was being silly. But yeah, there are certain, and I've definitely fallen foul of this before, I think, where I've tried to get a little too granular into the details of things, thinking that, you know, if I do every single one of these, like let's say like a cherry blossom tree, and painting in every single tiny flower, it can look really cool, or it might just end up kind of looking messy. You know, sometimes it's, depending on the medium, depending on sort of the yada 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 of the work, sometimes it's better to actually just do, you know, like roughly a, you know, sort of like somewhat dimensional pink mass, and then kind of pick out a couple of details to highlight, and do it that way instead. Yeah. So trying to find a balance between those two and make it look good. It's hard work. And I think for this one, I think I might want to effectively do something where I just make the pattern a little bit bigger, because it would be so tiny on here. It'd be like pixels, right? So what I will do is I'm going to take a piece. Okay, I've got this, this horrible swatch doodad where I swatched out my frog and toad palette in the first place, and I've just got a whole bunch of like blobs on the other side, and my signature, because I think I was demonstrating how stupid my signature looks for some reason. I'm gonna just do a little practice on this one and see how I feel in terms of the size of the patterning and how that would work. I'm trying to be very responsible here. Okay, I'm also trying to understand, before I actually go into the piece in and of itself, I think it's very useful, potentially, to just kind of understand how the pattern works. So what I'm seeing is basically, horizontally, it alternates between like brown and a secondary color, and then vertically, the secondary color alternates between orange, green, and then sort of like a yellow stripe, which I'm probably just going to make solid yellow, which may annoy some train nerds, but I'm trying to make this a little bit easier on myself, because there's no way I'll be able to realize that in a way that looks good. Or I might put like one stripe in the middle of it just to give lip service to that. But the shapes are probably going to be a little bit funky anyways, I think. But I'm going to try and see how I feel about this. So that one goes there, and then it's hard to tell, because there are some bits looking at this pattern where I can't tell if that's the pattern being strange or if the fabric has been like cut and sewn together. I can't tell which is the case. Which in turn actually makes it kind of more difficult to figure out what's going on, but whatever. Okay. I'm just gonna do like a three-peat, I think. And I'm painting in the brown bits first for, literally no good reason. I'm just doing it. And then, how is this? Alquil, hey, how's it going? Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to figure out how this pattern works, and again, this, whoever designs public transit seat maquette, you have my utmost respect. It must be a brain-breaking process, because just trying to figure out how to do this here is breaking my brain. And I'm not even doing it on the actual piece yet. Ah! Why have I done this to myself? Mistakes were made, chat. Mistakes were made. Mistakes. They was maids. What am I doing? Oh no. See, because like these should touch. These should touch. So clearly my sense of scale here is off. Because this needs to touch. Okay. And now it looks extra weird, but it's fine. It's fine. I think I can work on this scale though. It is going to take a time. But I think I've got it in me to make it not look horrendous, at least. I hope. I hope I can manage to not make it look horrendous. That's goals, honestly. Okay. Alright. So I've just done like 4 little rows, and then it goes, from the looks of it, green, and then yellow, and then orange, and then green, and then yellow, and then orange. Okay. Alright. So I'm picking up some green. And we're gonna see whether or not I can make this look good. Now I'm just filling in. I will probably actually, when I'm doing it on the thing, maybe I should do the colors that aren't brown first. Maybe I should be doing the colors that are not brown first. Uncertain. Not sure it really makes that much of a difference. Green, yellow, orange, and then green back again at the bottom. Okay. Okay. I have no idea if I did that correctly. Never mind. It's fine. We'll figure it out when we get there. But I think maybe it's starting to look like something, at least. Orange, a very important part of the whole situation.
Attention.
Twitch user Sammy Kelsch.
Choppers.
Hi! Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. I am just puzzling out a complicated pattern. Anyways, welcome in. I'm my own party. You are the coolest party of them all. Hello, Sammy, and welcome in. How was your stream? It is lovely to see you, and welcome on in. What are you up to today? Let me get a shout out for Sammy in the chat. If you're not familiar with the amazing Sammy Ann, number one, you should be. Go give her a follow. Go do that, because she's awesome. There's a shout out in the chat. And if you are not familiar with me, hi, hello, welcome in. This isn't what we're painting. Obviously, I'm just doing a little bit of testing on this. I should have waited for one color to dry before starting another one, but I'm just testing out whether or not a pattern of this size is going to look weirdly busy. I think it'll be okay, but I think I might end up making it slightly bigger, because we are painting this sweet little goblin, whose name is Unner. They are a long-running D&D character of mine, riding the Gospel Oak to Barking line on the London Underground, aka the Goblin. It's a stupid word pun, and it's existed in my brain for so long I had to do it, especially because it's Autism Month, and I know it's a stereotype, but if there's a time to paint trains, it's now. Anyways, hello. Problem solving on a piece. We are working on the werewolf game cards. Aw, sweet! As always, we are an art tax optional channel, but if there's anything you would like to share, you are more than welcome to do so. As you know, feel free to whisper a link in my direction. Just if you want to, though, no pressure. If you just wanna hang or you wanna dip, it's all good. As for me, hello. I am Twitch user Sammy Kelsch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and most Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Friday, and every once in a while on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra crispy. today we are working on this little goblin-y piece in watercolor, and I'm trying to figure out what scale I want the seat moquette pattern to be, because as you may know in real life, they are often quite visually busy. As you can see, I'll bring up the Google image search page. They look like that. So there's a lot of visual busyness going on. And I'm trying to figure out how to do justice to that without completely breaking viewers' eyes by scaling it down to something this tiny, and also giving myself a repetitive strain, because actually my fingers are hurting the last couple of days. This one and this one. I don't know why, and I don't know what I've done, and it scares me because I'm also over 40, so I'm just going to do some quick little stretches. Anyways, yeah, Sammy says testing is important. It super is. Look at this lovely friend just enjoying an underground stop. Yeah! They are a very fun little creature. I'm very happy that I got the chance to play them as part of a long-running campaign for a while. I miss getting to kind of be them on the regular. And they're also very much not from a London-y type location. They grew up in a small fishing village near the beach, you know, with in a house full of goblin cousins and goblin aunties and that kind of thing. And then they got a job as a blacksmith, as you do, because they think knives are cool, which is very cool of them. I'm fairly sure that the backstory for this character came from... Okay, so if you are familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, and you're ever in a situation where you don't have a really strong feeling of what you want your character to be, you can just fully randomize everything about them using a website called Fast Character. It's free, and it will just randomly generate all of the things for you. You can set some things if you know specifically you want to play like a rogue, or you know specifically you need to be level 5, you can manually set those things, then it'll randomize everything else for you. So, you know, you'll be like, oh, okay, I guess I'm a human cleric, or alright, well, I suppose I'm going to be an elf paladin or something like that, and then you can kind of refine from there. But it's a good starting point if you have zero ideas. But I often use it just because I like the chaos of just being like, okay, what am I gonna get? And I think I originally got Goblin Rogue, and I was like, that's a harmful stereotype. What's a different type of character I've never played before? And I was like, I've never been a sorcerer. I'm gonna make them a sorcerer. And I left everything else to chance, and I think their background was like guild artisan, and I was like, okay, they're a blacksmith now. It's very useful, I think, sometimes to use the fast character creator and then just kind of run from there, and I got really attached to the character as a result. I am waffling about them, as I do, some hand stretches, because my fingies hurt, and so I figure that's probably a good time for me to do some little warm-up stretches before I get properly into the painting of this thing, which I haven't done yet. If you don't do warm-up stretches before you do artwork, you really should be doing warm-up stretches before you do artwork. Because not doing any stretches and then working on things for long stretches of time is how you get things like repetitive strain injuries, and I'm wondering if that's why my finger hurts, even though it's my non-dominant hand, so whomst knows? Maybe I've been playing too much Silk Song. No, that's not possible. There's no such thing. Anyways. But, yeah, in case... Oh, excuse me. My goodness gracious. Okay, I have a link from Sammy Ann, so let's go take a look-see. If we can. We'll go do that. Bloop. Bloop. If anyone's new here and doesn't know what my art looks like, I will just let you know that this, hopefully this will work, that this is a robin I painted. I hope you like them. They have a majestic eyebrows. And they're found in Taiwan, and I think they're very, very cute. But this is Sammy Ann's Blue Sky, where you can go look at all of the doodads. Ooh, a portrait commission of a fabulous couple. Oh, look at their little kitty. that's so stinking cute. There's a little Lego. Oh, this is so cute. That is so stinking cute. I love it. If you're not familiar with the works of Sammy Ann, like, go do... Oh my god, this character is so cool. This character is so cool. Maximum befriendable. I love them very much. Yes. This is apparently Mitochondrial Eve from Parasite Eve, a PS era game. That was one part horror, one part RPG. I am not familiar with that at all. That's wild. Also, she looks really cool. That is a rad piece. Also, now it's not letting me scroll. Let me scroll. Let me scroll. Okay, yes. Let's look at this little sweet friend. This is ghost art. Oh, I know. If you like whimsy, please go follow Sammy. It's good stuff. It's good stuff, and it is, like, maximum whimsical. What's my other shout-out command? It's this one. Yay! Go follow Sammy Ann. Anyways, thank you again for the raid. I really appreciate it. And as you know, I absolutely adore you. Look at the little ladybugs. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's so cute. The absolute whimsy of it and the joy, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. I do appreciate it. And hello. Okay. I think I'm gonna finish trying to fill in this I think there was a little bit of bleed happening on this pattern because I did the I added the orange stripes a little too soon, I think, and they kind of bled into the brown. But I will add... Also, my understanding of just how this pattern actually works is, what shall I say, minimal at best? Quite minimal, I think. So trying to figure out how to actually do it in practice is a little brain-breaking for me. It is very... Did I shake the camera? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's a little brain-breaking for me. Like, whoever designs these like, C patterns has my utmost respect because it is very confusing to me. I'm just moving all of these other colors all the way over here because I don't need blue, purple, red, or black right now. I just need these four to make this little pattern. I think I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger. I don't know. What do we think? I think this, across this whole thing, has the potential to look kind of like just a little bit. So I think I want to try... making it a little bit larger. Not too much, but just a smidgen. I'm going to bring up my reference again. Also, once again, I'm... My brain is struggling really hard to figure out how to actually draw this. Okay, actually, it looks like it's on kind of a weird... There's like a weird grid happening where there's like a square that's brown and then there's a square next to it where like it goes like this. It's like I'm having to do Tetris to figure this out. But I don't want to do, like, a brown one, and then a green one, and then a brown one, and if I'm constantly switching back and forth between colors, that I feel like is going to be forced.
Twitch user
For heaven's
Sammy
sakes,
Couch.
Jam!
Choppers.
Oh my gosh, that scared the crap out of me. Hello, Jam. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, hello, hello. Yay! I can spend a few more minutes dithering and not continuing on with this painting. Thank you so much for that. I'm having an interesting time with it. But Jam, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How'd you get on with the prompt list? And hello. How is it going? Casa, hello, welcome in. Debbie, hello, hello, welcome in. Silly Cat, hello, hello. Jam, of course. And Rex, hi. Kiona, hello. B-raid, I didn't copy. That's okay. Thank you for the B-raid. Hello. Welcome in. How was your stream? It's lovely to see you. And hi. Let me get a shout out for Jam in the chat if you're not familiar with the delightful James Bibero. You should be, because he's awesome. And a very interesting fellow and a skilled artist and very fun to hang out with. If you're not familiar with me, hi, hello, welcome in. My name is Twitch user Sammy Couch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays, and most Thursdays I do cozy game streams on Fridays, and every once in a while on a Thursday as well if I'm feeling extra spicy. Today I am painting this little goblin riding the Gospel Oak to Barking line of the London Overground, aka the Goblin. It's a goblin riding the goblin, because I'm stupid and I thought it was funny. I'm trying to figure out at the moment how to paint in if you're familiar with the way that seats look, they have these real busy patterns on them. I'm trying to figure out what scale to paint that at so that it's visible and doesn't look like butt. And it is challenging. But yeah, Jam says, doing alright planning what is essentially meme art for day one at the moment. Oh, hell yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. I have basically no ideas for Hollow Knight Art Month yet. I am honestly tempted to go through a list of all of the characters, like all of the NPCs, and figure out which ones I want to draw, and then figure out which ones I can shoehorn into some of the prompts. Because I really want to draw a whole bunch of friends I haven't had a chance to draw before. Because my favorite thing about Hollow Knight and Silksong is all the little friends you make along the way, because I'm a baby. But it is also true. And also figuring out that I've got 2 weeks almost of artwork that I need to speed run before May begins, because I'm going to be gone between like the 10th and the 22nd, and I'm not going to be able to do pretty much any painting in that period. And I'm not going to have my usual setup. So I'm going to have to do all that stuff first. So, yeah, I feel you on the pre-planning. Yeah, and also I get to speedrun. Yay, I'm good to speedrun time. Hell yeah. I did it 2 years ago with the back half of the month. I just did all of, like, the last half of the pieces in the last week of April. It was crazy. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not too concerned. You know what? I'm going to say the same thing that I say every year. I'm going to keep things relatively simple and straightforward this year. And then they didn't. But anyways. Yes, the busy pattern, says Jam. And oh goodness, speedrun time. Yay, if it's going to be interesting. Anyways, as you know, we are an art tax optional stream. If there is anything that you would like to share with the class, I'd be more than happy to do so. We can go have a little creepo on your Instagram or your Blue Sky or what have you if you'd like. Or if there is a link that you want to whisper me, you can do that as well. Or if you just want to chill and all that's way too much pressure, that's also fine. It's all good. Anyways, in case anyone's wondering what my artwork looks like when it's done, let me actually just dig up. Let me dig up a Hollow Knight piece, because I have done them before. There are some in here someplace. Hold. Where is it? When did I paint that actually? Wait. Yes. Okay. Here's the most recent Hollow Knight / Silksong piece that I did. Blue Sky would be best. Okay, we will jump over there in just a second. So this is one of mine. You may recognize that little shape if you've seen any of my recent Silksong streams. Jam is lurking. Dash no lurk. Hope the art continues great. Thank you so much, Jam, and thank you again for the raid. I very much appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful... I'm making heart hands at the camera as though you can see my hands right now. We're on the wrong scene. But yes, go have a lovely lurk, and thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And we are going to go take a look at some of Jam's art as well, because I can also do that. So let me just plug that in real quick. James B. Barrow. I know how to spell. Okay. Alright, anyways. Okay, now that Jam's lurking, let's talk about how great he is, everybody. Let's gossip. I think Jam's cool. That's my gossip. No, why is it in my feeds pane? I didn't click on that. Pretzels. No, go back. Go back. There we go. I want to see Jam art. Yay! There's Jam and a whole bunch of art. And you posted the horn. You posted the horn. So yes, we are looking forward to Hollow Knight Art Month. I'm so scared, but in a fun way. But I love this piece. I think what Jam is doing with the blur in this piece is so interesting. It also, to me anyways, has the effect of making Hornet look about like an inch tall, which, I mean, I guess they're all bugs, so they are all tiny, but I tend not to think of them as tiny because the game is at scale where she's just normal size to me. But this makes it feel like she's real teeny tiny, which I really love. That's aesthetic. So aesthetic. Hi, Katie. Welcome on in. We're looking at some art from our lovely friend Jam right now, who just raided. Here's ooh. So Jam also did Rain World Art Month, and then like with very few weeks in between is going to be doing Hollow Knight Art Month. That is devotion and dedication to games about little guys, if ever there was any. I have the utmost respect. We have no choice but to thoroughly appreciate all. Like, look at these. They're so good. They're so good. I tell you, if this person were to do a little picture book, like a little narrative picture book, that would be a bestseller, like, for sure. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways. I'm gonna let this whole thing play out because I want to see all of them. I think I've seen most of them, but my feed doesn't always show me everything, and that's probably entirely my fault for, I don't know, not being able to check it all the time. But yeah, that is a beautiful overview of works. And yeah, if you're not following, can I do another? I'll do a second shout out for Jam as well. If you're not following Jam, you should go do that. You can do that right there. Anyways, how's everybody doing? How are your Mondays doing? How was your weekend? Not to interrogate you. You don't have to answer any of my questions that you don't feel comfortable answering. It's all fine answering. I apparently don't know how to speak. Hello. Anyways. I'm currently trying to figure out how the heck you paint this, seat pattern, but additionally I think I do actually want to make it larger. So it's kind of like it's 3/4 of solid block and then a little doot. I think that's how it works. It's kind of two squares, but then you take a quadrant out of the square. Is how that works. It's so complicated. It's so stinking complicated. I have made this probably too complicated for myself. Hi, yeah, and then it goes. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know. This is quite complicated, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Damn it. I think maybe what I will do is just additionally do so it's kind of like so if I just do the corresponding green chunk, and then maybe I can figure out how the rest of the brown pieces fit in from there. I don't know. This is surprisingly difficult. But I think actually that's helpful. I think. This is brain-breaking stuff, y'all. Trying to figure out how to paint a public transit seat maquette, because it's got these. I'll show it to you again. But it does have quite a, what I would describe as a funky little pattern. I think that's probably the best descriptor, is a funky little oh, why is that so tiny? No. Okay, I've had to zoom this in so you can see it a little bit better. That is a funky little pattern, if ever there was one. And I'm simplifying it down because there's weird sort of like glitchy stuff going on that I don't think I'm going to be able to adequately represent, because it's so confusing. It's so confusing. I don't know if I should just like draw a grid into place first, like super faintly on the seats. Maybe I should just paint in a different section of this and come back to that. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Okay, well let's get camera back on. Let's get camera back on first of all, because yeah, it's gonna be real boring if all you can see is that. I think what I will do first, I'm using my teeny tiny brush at the moment. I think what I will actually do first is I'm gonna pick out some orange, and actually I am wondering if this orange in and of itself could do with a little extra red added to it. I think that's what I did for this, like, post here. Because Overground orange is quite, it's quite visible, I would say. But there's a little bit of, like, soft fabric-y covering on the little, like, armrests of the seats. Not that I think most people use the armrests of the seats. Most of the time you're probably trying to smush your elbows in far enough that it doesn't feel like you're bothering anyone else. Okay. Spicy opinion time in chat. Katie says, why does public transport seating have to have the most awful prints? I actually like a lot of them, but I do concede that they're generally quite busy. And I'm sure that I've heard reasoning behind why they're busy. I think part of the reason is that it makes them a little bit... I think it increases the longevity of the material looking kind of okay in terms of, like, wear and tear. If it gets, like, stains that, you know, don't really come out. It hides itself better inside a busy pattern than, say, like, a solid color. I think you're more likely to notice wear and tear, like just the fabric wearing out, which it inevitably will over time with people sitting and standing and using it, abusing it that much every day. You will eventually hit a point where it just starts to kind of look crappy. But maybe the thinking behind, like, the busy patterning is that it will last longer before it gets too visibly damaged to really be able to use, I'm thinking. Yeah, Rex says it hides damages and stains. That's why hotels do it for their hallways. Oh, man. I have precious... There was, like... There was a convention that I used to go to in Los Angeles every year, and I can remember when the like, crazy patterned carpet in the convention hall area was so beloved that I'm pretty sure people cosplayed as the carpet. It's one of those conventions where rather than just, like, cosplaying as characters from, you know, sort of, like, the media that we all enjoy, people start cosplaying as, like, convention-specific things. And I'm pretty sure people cosplayed as the carpet. So when they had the carpets replaced one year and they came back and they're like, the carpet is different! No! And people were so sad. I'm sure vigils were held for the old carpet, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. But yeah, that was in my younger days when I was silly and did fun things and went out and did stuff rather than being holed up in my in my little fortress of shrimped over in my little fortress of solitude. Just doing little paintings of trains, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. We are coming into ads, I am very sorry to say. But maybe I'll have figured out this maquette thing by the time we get back. I am thinking I might actually just draw a grid onto the seats, so I have kind of a frame of reference for where the little pattern pieces need to go. That might drive me a little bit less crazy in the long run, I think. But anyways. Rex says, offices and stuff don't use them because they expect people to respect their workplace more than a tourist respects anything. That is so true. But also, no, I don't. Anyways, I will be back very shortly. I don't want you to miss anything. So I'm going to pop up the BRB screen. Please enjoy the music in the meantime. And I'm sorry if you have to see ads. I'll be back very shortly. BRB. Hello. Kirsty says, bees and stuff. Hell yeah. Welcome in. Hello. Thank you for the bees, etc. This seat maquette problem is breaking my brain. Like it really and truly is. Either that or I just don't worry too much about it being, like, perfectly patterned, and I just put some doots. I just put some vague pattern-esque doots and try to make them all the same size. I'm just not sure. Okay. I'm gonna try a little bit more testy outy stuff before we, like, commit. Just because I would really rather not do it, you know, badly. However, I have no idea whether or not this is hitting. I don't know. Anyways, I hope y'all had a good break. I hope y'all are having a good whatever you've been up to today. Quietly panicking about what the heck you're gonna do for Hollow Knight Art Month. I genuinely, I haven't had any ideas yet. All I know is I want to paint a whole bunch of new friends in a whole bunch of fun and cute situations. That is as much as I know. Is that I want to paint a whole bunch of friends in situations. Do I need more yet? Yes, because I pretty much have to start working on it, like, tomorrow. But, obviously, I probably should once again preface this by saying that just because I am planning on doing all 31 days of a 31-day art prompt list doesn't mean that you have to, if you are also thinking of doing it. Like, you don't have to do that. You can do as many or as few as you want. You can do just one. If there's one that really strikes your fancy, like, geez, I really want to do a super detailed Renaissance style oil painting of, I don't know, Garmund and Zaza, then, but that's going to take me 4 weeks. Please do a giant Renaissance style, oil painting of Garmund and Zaza. I would like to see it. Neat, I'll take the month off, says Kirsty. I mean, you can. You can do whatever you feel like. It's your month. Anyways. Alco says, I got a new programming project at work today. That was nice. Ooh, I hope it's fun. I hope you're having a good time. That's super rad. I am, once again, I am gonna have to, I think, keep decanting out a little bit of this, because this orange is actually not super, I thought this orange was going to be more vibrant than it was. It's not super vibrant. And so to kind of deepen it and give it a little added, like, brightness, I am actually adding a little bit of red to it. But actually, does that make it stand out less? Maybe I just didn't clean my brush enough, because that looks really dark. Beans. That's better. Maybe I just need to water it down a little bit. Okay. Alright. We're getting there. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Hollow Knight month this month. I hope whatever it ends up being will be good. I don't want to say I'm gonna do it, like, super simple and sketchy, because I always say, this month I'm gonna do it super simple and sketchy, and then I don't do that. So, you know, I don't want to set up false expectations for myself or anybody else. Oh no. Anyways, Huggy Bear, hello, welcome in. Hello. I am just trying to figure out the ins and outs of this pattern. I think it does look better if I make it bigger. I think I do prefer that. I think something's weird. And I don't know what's weird, but I think this size is better than this size. I think this...
Oh hell yeah, Tiles_are now just subscribed. What's this button?
What indeed? Thank you so much for the sub. 8 months. My goodness, that is getting so close to a year. That is, like, you're almost there. Like, good job. Congratulations on the almost a year. That's awesome. Also, thank you so much indeed. I think this size reads better than this size personally. So I'm gonna go with a bigger and not out of character. What's the word I'm looking for? A slightly less realism, but will look better for the piece size. So how many... Okay, this is getting granular. How many millimeters is that, roughly? If I were to quantify it into millimeters, that's like 6 millimeters across. Okay, I can do like a 6... does that work with the width of the seat? The seat, okay, the seat is about... The seat width, if my seat widths are even, and they're probably not, looks to be about 30... Yeah, 3 centimeters. So if I were to do them at intervals of like half a doodah, I could make a nice, easy grid for myself. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Oh boy, is this riveting content? I don't know. But, I think it's gonna make it mildly easier for me in terms of the actual, like, doing of the thing in the long run. So if I just do, and I'm just gonna draw the lines out. Okay. Anyways. Is anybody else planning to do the Hollow Knight Art Month? And if you don't know of whence I speak, there is... Did I miss putting a doot down? Heck. Okay, well, let's just pretend it's there. It's fine. Alright, yay, this is gonna look so bad. I don't have a exclamation mark Hollow Knight Art Month thingy, but I can put a link to it in the chat if you want. And we can also look at the prompt list again if you want. Tell me I didn't just... Okay, something weird just happened. I did not oh god. So for the entire month of May, there are 31 art prompt thingies. Good evening, shrimping paintress. That's me! Thanks, Mimicry. Anyways, I will art at least some of the month hollowly, says Tals. Hell yeah! I'm excited to see what everyone else comes up with. But here's... I already have some ideas. Not very many, and I don't want to spoil just in case I end up not doing the things that I'm thinking in my head, but I will tell you I have one idea for Hot Spring. Mimicry says, bot noises. Hollow Knight Art Month is a fun, creative, fan-made art challenge celebrating the artistry of the Hollow Knight video games. How did I do? Was that good? Anyways, I have the germ of an idea for Hot Spring already. I think, ooh, I've just had an idea for Bellheart, but I don't want to say in case I end up not doing it. TTS, text to Sammy, says yeah, that sounded very futuristic, says Huggy Bear. Yeah, I was going for the terrible TikTok TTS. What else do I have ideas for? I mean, some of these are just what friends can I paint Hornet hanging out with? Like, who's somebody that Hornet could be hanging out with in Shellwood, for instance? Like, that's, you know, the Sands of Karak, I'm just like, I could paint one of Hornet's many deaths to spikes and cones, because I feel like that happened a lot. I have bad feelings about the cones. I don't like the cones. I think they should be stopped. I do like that day 31 is Flea. I personally am going to have a lot of fun with that. But there are some things that, yeah, I'm like, I wonder. What friends can I paint for that? You know, Silk Eater. I don't know what I'm going to do for Silk Eater yet. I think that could be quite interesting. There's a lot of room to play in these, I think. Like I said, Vessel could conceivably be a drinking vessel. And if a vessel is a drinking vessel, why not just have Hornet visit a coffee shop? Why not, I say? I've done coffee shops before, and I'm not afraid to do it again. Also, yes, my pencil is this small, and I will keep using it for as long as I can. Damn it. Why not indeed, says Tals. Yeah, you get it. You get it. But, ow. Also, my airways are itchy. That's annoying. Thank goodness Una is sitting on one of these seats, so I don't have to draw in every single... I don't have to draw in every single doot around them. Because they are occupying some of that space and you can't see the full moquette behind them. Thank a goodness for that. Because the less of this I have to paint in full, I'm happy with, you know? That's fine. That is entirely fine by me. Anyways. Finally we meet the person who pencil extenders were invented for. Yes, it's me. Just because one isn't seen in game doesn't mean it doesn't exist, says Katie. Yes, exactly, yes. We can do whatever we feel like. I've drawn Hornet riding the... okay, we're drawing a goblin riding the London Overground right now. I have drawn Hornet riding the TTC in Toronto as well. Thank you for the hydrate, Huggy Bear. I will take a sippy. So really, the answer is you can do whatever you feel like. You can do whatever you want. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, but yeah. So my plan, such as it is I don't have one. Employ speedrun strats as best as possible, and try not to panic. Okay, where's the doot. Okay. And then obviously, once I've filled in all of these little lines, I have to do it again in the other direction. Okay. Am I doing this well or correctly? The answer is probably a resounding, it's super uneven. Shh, it's fine, don't worry about it. Joe is just lurking for the Chill Sammy vibes. Hello, Joe, thank you. Buying a new house is stressful, but congrats on buying a new house. Oh my god. That's nice. And I love that for you. It is a very stressful situation, but yay! I'm sure it'll be a massive relief when it's all done. And you have a beautiful new domicile to eat pizza and play video games in. Anyways, I'm here for Sammy bringing the whimsy to Farnham. I shall do my very best. I shall do my very best indeed. I make no guarantees as to how good my best is, but I will make a gosh darn effort for sure. This looks... I think these need to kind of go off on a bit more of a funky angle. Funky angles scare me. Just in general. There we go. Okay, that... it's good enough. Don't look at the housewarming in September, October. I will send you deeds. Oh, hell yeah! I look forward to it. And yeah, massive congrats. That's awesome. Love that for you. Yes. I became a homeowner in Silksong. Actually, I did spoilers for Silksong. I became a homeowner in Silksong last stream. It was very exciting. We put up fairy homes. Hello.
Oh hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Leaky just subscribed. I apologize for the very loud noise this sub likely brought.
No sorries necessary, Leaky. I'm the one who set up the alerts. So if I get jump scared by the alerts, that is my own fault, not yours. You are an absolute treasure, and I very much appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy your sub. 17 months! Do I need to say? Do I even need to say what period of time that is, just skirting ever so close to being adjacent to? Need I say? You know it. Anyways, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your emotes and stuff. Anywho's, I'm gonna keep drawing in these increasingly terrible stripes. Okay. I mean, it is a fairly busy pattern, so, if it's lightly imperfect, that I think I can kind of get away with. Right? Almost a year, says Leaky. Yeah. Also, hi, Cranky. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Hello, hello, hello. I've just decided to mark out this moquette pattern onto a grid because otherwise it is just gonna break me. Going to break me. So, I think the other... Is it squarish? Yeah, it is squarish. Okay. I think it's probably a little bit more square than a square, but I'm just going to go on a squarish basis here because I feel like it will just make my life ever so slightly less terrible. Cranky says, you could get away with anything. I'd let you. Can I get away with slightly fudging the scale of this public transit seat maquette so that it reads better in this scale? That's really all I want. Oh, excuse me. I mean, I would love to not have a cough, which I apparently do at the moment. And I do apologize for my coughing. I will try and also keep that to a minimum. Okay. If these stripey doos are not 100% perfect, tough biscuits, it is, once again, hand-painted, and part of the charm is that it is not perfect. I've been shopping around for some color films recently because I will be... What? Okay, that decidedly trended downwards because that grid is going off in some funky shapes, so I'm gonna need to just erase some of that because that's just downright inaccurate. Okay, can I be a little bit more level, please? Yes, I can. Okay, that's much better. Yes. I was looking at, because I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I did, I have done photo, but really before I was doing, like, painting in any kind of meaningful and dedicated way, I was doing photography for years. And I was quite accomplished as a photographer. I'd exhibited a few times and yada yada yada. But I kind of fell off doing it in, like, a serious way. Many years ago. I think not that long after I moved to the United Kingdom, I kind of fell off doing, like, serious photography. I had kind of, like, a project that I'd been doing for a bit, and then that ended up really not going anywhere. There were some snags that I hit in that project, and I realized this isn't really going anywhere or doing anything that meaningful. And I got some weird rejections, and I just started to, like, second guess myself as a photographer a lot, and so I kind of just stopped doing it seriously. And I'm not really looking to get back into doing photography seriously, like exhibiting and doing any of that kind of thing as, like, a photographer, but I have been taking photos this entire time, and I tend to just, you know, take photos, get them developed, and then never look at them again. And I'm thinking about trying to change that because I've done some really cool stuff and it'd be neat to share it, and I just never do. But what if I did? But in what way? I don't know. But most recently I was looking at buying, like, I some new film stock to take with me on my travels, because I'm going to be away from this country for a few weeks, right smack dab in the middle of Hollow Knight Art Month, because clearly I'm not dedicated enough to the craft of making artworks of our beloved game. No, but seriously. So yeah, that's a situation. Same planet though, right? Yeah, same planet. Absolutely same planet. I'm not going, listen, I personally am not going to the moon. I'm scared of space. I'm gonna stay right, as a Star Trek enjoyer. I enjoy theoretically visiting space through the vehicle of watching people on my TV. But no, I'd be so scared. I'm not sure if seeing the planet from off planet would activate my fear of heights. It might. It genuinely might. Seriously, dangerous neighborhood out there? Yeah. Yeah, you know, what if I was the first human to meet the Borg? Like, what if it turns out that Star Trek, of all of the things that Star Trek could guess could happen in the future, and they've guessed a few things, what if they guessed the Borg, and then I just meet them? Oh no! I don't want to herald the end of civilization by having them, like, you know, learn that we exist. That's too much pressure. Anyways, Sammy, I think you could take him, says Kirsty. I mean, I don't know, they might meet me and assimilate me and then just have anxiety. I feel like I could use that as a weapon. They assimilate me and then all of a sudden they're like, oh man, our Borg implant suits are super uncomfortable, bad texture, and suddenly you just have like a cube full of people all wearing like pajamas, and sleeping until noon. Yeah, that could be the end of the Borg, actually, your destiny. Yeah! I just make them into, I don't know, a bunch of really tired artists. What if? Damn, now I have to go to space, just in case I'm destined to do that. See, says Kirsty, oh jeez. A solid plan, says Tals. Well, y'all, you talked me into it. I guess that's what I'm gonna... What if they assimilated allergies too? Oh no! Oh no, what if they'd been eating, like, wheat this whole time? And mushrooms? Oh no, what if they all develop an iron deficiency? Oh, pretzels. Do they also inherit my ADHD? I don't know. That would be wacky. I don't think I want to live on a Borg cube where everyone has ADHD. I feel like that could be an interesting challenge. Anyways, I don't think that's how it works, but what if they did assimilate my allergies? Oh, geez. What if they'd been eating, like, mushroom risotto as, like, their, I don't know, boring, but it's, like, under-seasoned mushroom risotto as their, like, boring gray Borg sustenance, and then suddenly they all just start having horrible allergy symptoms, because I'm allergic to mushrooms. Uh-oh. I think the Borg didn't think this through. Mistakes were made. Anyways. Okay. Brain needs to brain about this stupid pattern. Okay, so. It goes... I'm gonna do a row of all of the squares that need to be brown, I think. Why is this so confusing? Classic Borg, says Cranky. Katie says literally it would only take one ADHD person to give the whole collective ADHD. Can you... that I feel like would be an interesting time for them. It's certainly an interesting time for me. Okay. So I'm just going to start, I'm going to start with this square right here. We have begun the seat maquette. Oh god. No pressure. This is fine. This is totally fine. It's all good. And again, the grid doesn't always match up because the pattern is glitchy and weird, and I am kind of unglitchy and unweirding it a little bit, just so that it is ever so slightly easier to actually, because if I tried to do the pattern as existent, I would lose my mind. So I'm simplifying it down just a little bit so that I don't lose my mind. But yeah, well, geez, now I guess I have to go to space. So, you know, no pressure there, it's fine. So this one, and then that one's green, and then this one is brown again. Yes. I'm having to, like, tell this to myself, because I really would like to not completely mess up the pattern. 2 squares in. Okay, we've started the pattern. Yay! That is if ADHD escapes the assimilation / brainwashing process. I mean, I don't think there's a cure for ADHD, but I don't know. Maybe being assimilated would help me manage some of my you know, sort of more difficult to manage traits. Like, would my time management improve? I wonder. I wonder if there's a filter distributed. What if they just water it down so everyone is ever so slightly worse at keeping time, but, like, also slightly better at hyper-focusing on things they really want to do? I don't, like, that could, I think officially they only add beneficial traits to their collective. Well, you know what? Not everything about having ADHD is bad. It makes me cool and sexy. I can hyper focus on things and get a lot of stuff done if I want to, and my brain decides it's interesting. Also, I can hyperfocus equals beneficial. Yeah, absolutely. Same with autism. Hell yeah, absolutely. Lots of beneficial. You know, it's not all detractors. Some things about, hey, happy Autism Month, everybody. Some things about the neurodivergences are cool. They are still disabilities, and there are still aspects of them that are disabling, but sometimes there are things that you can use to your own strengths, and yeah, I dig it. Anyways, I can hyperfocus, but I don't get to pick what on, says Leaky. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I can hyperfocus, but, you know, it's not going to be my day job if I have one. It's going to be, like, this specific species of bird, or now I need to know everything about the history of banana bread. So, anyways, I wish I could just weaponize that and have being just whatever I'm hyper-focusing on at the moment is just my job. That'd be amazing. Cranky says, ADHDers are the sexiest, tied with autistic folk, and also Happy Autism Month. Hell yeah, Happy Autism Month. So annoying that Autism Month, of all months, is the month where I happen to have, like, crushing art block for weeks. Very annoying. Sometimes it's day job tasks, says Alcool. That's why I was so happy about the new programming project. Hell yeah, love that for you. Leaky says, I hyper-focused on the game Satisfactory last year. I had to go cold turkey as I kept forgetting to sleep. Oh no. Oh no. That's less good. Please sleep. It is beneficial to your well-being to get sleep, unfortunately. I tend not to, like, lose that much time to things and, like, forget to, like, eat or sleep or anything like that. But what I do is that sometimes if I'm in a state of, like, the executive is not functioning, so, you know, like the opposite of hyper-focus, the I cannot focus at all and I'm not getting anything done, I I will try and strong arm myself into getting something done by being like, okay, yes, you do want to go get up and get a cup of tea, but you haven't finished this task yet, so you have to finish the task first, because if you get up and do it, it's going to take you even longer to get back into task mode. But the problem is I wasn't in task mode in the first place. I was just sitting and idling. I was just sitting and, like, you know, sort of the motors are going like, but I'm not actually engaging and moving forward at all. So I could get up and make a cup of tea, and then I might be able to shift into task mode. I'm not in task mode yet anyway. I might as well, right? Tell that to my brain. I end up, it's like 11 p.m. and I'm like, I have been thirsty for 2 hours and I haven't gotten up to make myself a drink. But if I make myself a drink at 11 p.m., I know I'm going to need to pee in the middle of the night. Because if I'd made myself a drink at 9, I would have just done a big pee, you know, before I go to bed, right? But now I'm going to have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom. So then I'm faced with the question of, do I make a drink now, or do I just go to bed and dehydrate myself? Anyways. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding, says Cranky. Yup. I mean, I also don't eat meat, so make of that what you will. I'm having soup tonight. I'm making soup with broccoli, asparagus, and peas. Leaky says, well, you do have moderator / spouse leaving / returning home to track the passing of time. It is incredibly helpful to me having a person who also exists on a similar schedule to my own. It really is. There are times when one or both of us get stuck in, like, I want to continue working on the thing, and I'm, you know, don't want to go to bed yet. But we try and force each other to go to bed at reasonable-ish times to varying levels of success. I think possibly more so than if either of us lived alone. Also, I would feel sad if I lived alone because I like living with my person. Anyways. Alquil says, for me, what surprisingly often works, at least with everyday things, is telling someone about it. Like posting on Mastodon, I really should go to bed, instead of just thinking about it. You know? Part of the reason I started streaming art was to actually make sure that I do, like, artwork at least twice a week. Because I wasn't for a long time, and I was getting really frustrated about it. And I was like, if I hold myself publicly accountable, I'll actually have to do the thing. But yeah, that's a really good, sometimes just knowing that, like, someone is going to know if you don't do the thing is enough to actually make you do the thing, which is really useful. Cranky says, in this paperwork I'm doing, it wants me to fill out mandatory sections about my roommate, but I live alone. I don't know what to do. Oh no. Can you just put not applicable in the roommate sections? Because they don't exist, because you live by yourself? I would guess. Oh, that reminds me of this time that, like, yeah, exactly. Katie says, can you write not applicable or similar? I hope so, but that's really annoying. If you have to still fill out the entire section of questions and put, like, NA, 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 that's so annoying. I had, when I first moved to the United Kingdom, this is obviously before I met moderator / spouse. When I first moved to the United Kingdom, I lived alone in my flat for a couple of years. No, it was a year. It was 1 year. I spent 1 year in this flat on my own, in another city. And if you live alone, you're supposed to pay a lower council tax rate. No, because some of the sections are, like, numbers only, like, phone number and CPF. Oh, jeez. Can you just, I guess, just put your own again? Ugh, that's so annoying. I tried the now applicable. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. That is genuinely very annoying. But yeah, when I first moved here, CPF is the Brazilian Social Security. That's the national insurance number, I think, here in the, yeah, the 9-inch it's the NIN. It's your national insurance number is your NIN, I suppose, which would be the 9-inch nails. So yeah. Anyways, I think I was. It's your I'm a human with taxes number. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kirsty asked if there's additional support you can get filling it out. That's a good question as well. When I first moved here, I wanted to, so I called up the council on the phone to say, hey, so I'm the sole occupant of this flat, so I'm supposed to be paying, like, X percentage less in council tax. How do I register this? And she's like, okay, just give me the yada yada information. But there was information I didn't have because I had only just moved to the country. So I think it's because it was the first property that I'd lived in this country. I didn't have like a previous address or something like that. And she's like, oh, okay, that means that your case is too complicated. I'm gonna just have to send you like a paper form in the post and you'll have to fill out the entire form. But the form that she sent me, they don't just have like a simplified I want to pay less council tax form. It was a full like benefits application form. And as a condition of, so I wanted to answer truthfully all the things. I was currently looking for work. I was currently not on, you know, like a salary or anything like that because I just moved there. I was in the process of looking for a job, right? But I was like, I do not want them to like give me like unemployment benefits or anything like that because as a condition of the visa I was on, I'm not allowed to claim things like unemployment benefits or anything like that. And I was just so scared that in filling out this form, because I had to fill out the entire thing, that they'd be like, so they're eligible for unemployment benefits and this benefit and that and the other, and let's just like send me benefits or like register me for benefits that I'm not supposed to get. There was like a free text area where I could put, do not give me benefits. But I wasn't able to, I was so scared that they would just not read that or just read it wrong or just F up and decide to give me money, basically. And then I'd be deported for receiving benefits because on the work visa that I was on did not allow me to claim benefits, which I did not want. So I ended up just paying extra for council tax for a year because it was either that or potentially commit benefit fraud. I was like, no, I do not want to do that. Anyways, yeah, it sucked. It sucked. Especially considering, again, I was very underemployed at the time. Even when I was working, I wasn't working a good job and I wasn't making very much money. So, you know, anyways. But yeah, deeply annoying. It's been a long Monday, says Leaky. I read that as when I first moved here, I lived in a flat. But I moved to the flat here when oh jeez. Excuse me. Anyways, Crikey says, I'm talking to the real estate agent, but she's been silent for a bit now, so I think I need to be patient. Oh, geez. I really hope that you're able to get it sorted easily. It's so annoying when the paperwork fights with you. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. Anyways, Cranky says, the whole thing stresses me out because I work online as an independent contractor, and I'm a foreigner renting a loan under my own information for the first time. Oh, fun. It is, if it's anything like the UK, it is doable, just, I don't know, be careful with them forms, because they suck. But yeah, never be a foreigner if you can help it. It's so confusing and hard even in your first language. It really, as someone who's been through, like, multiple iterations of, like, visas and stuff, it really is. It is not easy, and it's not fun. Okay, so that one's green. That one is brown, but we can't see it. This one's brown? Is this one brown? I don't know. It's mostly obscured by their ear, but we can see a tiny bit, a tiny, tiny bit of it, like that. But yeah. Oh gosh, I've already been denied, but fought it. Talked to the agent to go through a different insurance company. That honestly sounds like a bureaucratic nightmare. I'm so sorry. I think this one is brown. I think this one is brown. This is the problem with parts of this being obscured by, like, having a person sitting on it, actually. Alcol says, I remember when I registered with the town when first renting, I looked at all the info I had available to know what info I needed to bring, and then they asked for the address of my landlord, which had not been on the list. Helpful. So helpful. Why, like, you know, the older that I get and the more I've experienced of, like, you know, bureaucratic stuff like this, the more I feel like Because, you know, I was fairly young. I was like an undergraduate or younger when I read like Franz Kafka for the first time, right? And I was like, oh my god, this is nightmarish. And now that I'm older, I'm just like, he was just describing trying to deal with like inefficient government offices in a realistic way, actually. This is just exactly what it feels like when you're having to apply for a work visa or whatever. Yay! You were a young lad with cheeks of tan. I definitely wasn't either of those things. I was I was an extremely pale university student with mild rosacea. Anyways, I'm gonna mute the mic for just a second. I do apologize for that, but one moment, please. Sorry, I had to blow my nose, and I figured you'd probably not want to hear that. Anyways. Oh, goodness gracious. Ah, it's from a poem I see. Blessings on thee, little man, barefoot boy, with cheek of tan, with thy tanned-up pantaloons, and thy merry whistled tunes. Oh, how delightful. What an absolute little lad that sounds like. I love it. Good for him. Okay. I am recounting this because I'm second guessing myself. Okay, so this one's green, and this one's brown, and this one's that, and this one's green, and this one's brown, and this one is brown. Okay. If this is wrong, who cares? It is what it is now. There doesn't need to be continuity from one seat to the next anyways. I'm just doing that because I'm extra. And to be honest, I think it's going to make it a little bit easier in terms of keeping track of what the pattern is doing. Anyways. The Barefoot Boy by John Greenleaf Whittier. What a wonderful name. Anyways, Katie says, what, you apply for a work visa and wake up the next morning as a human-sized insect? Yes. Mimicry says, that's just what happens when you fill out the forms incorrectly. Also, yes. I mean, part of the reason that I don't appear on camera, obviously, is that while my PNG tuber looks like this, I am, of course, a giant beetle. Anyways. Why do you think I like Silksong so much? And Hollow Knight? It's all full of bugs. Just like me. I keyed. I am human adjacent, I think, for the most part. Anyways. Beetle. People born in 1807 definitely. There are some amazing names that seem to have, very sadly gone out of fashion, I think. I agree, Cranky. 100%. Huggy Bear says good night and thank you for the stream, which is too relatable. Oh, thank you so much for hanging out, Huggy Bear. I hope you had a good time. It was lovely to see you. And have a wonderful night. Okay. I have completed row 1 of Little Brown Gubbins, I think. Or have I? I don't know. Anyways. Need to rest my eyes. It was quiet but enjoying every second. Ciao. Ciao to you too. Thank you. Patterns, says Alquill. It's so hard. It's so confusing. So is that one? I feel like this kind of cuts off not weirdly far away from the edge of the paper, but that's as much as I've drawn. So, you know, good enough. That'll do for me. Actually, no, screw it. I will do the square next to this square, and then we'll kind of trail off of that. I'll do that much. That's fine. Okay. Cranky says, I want to take credit for being a smarty smart and knowing that off-tone, but The Simpsons are the only reason I know that poem. Mr. Burns quoted it as season 1 or 2 episode. Oh my god. That is a deep Simpsons cut that even I did not recall. Though I think most of my Simpsons memory does tend to be quite, I don't know, stupid. My Simpsons knowledge is just stupid. Okay. So I've done green, and then I'm doing, I think what comes after green, it's kind of, okay, so then this one wants to be brown, and then half of this one also wants to be brown, I think. Does it? Wait. Oh, this is genuinely brain-breaking. Yes. No. Yes. Yes, I think that's... this pattern is so confusing. Why did the writers know that in 1990s pre-competent internet or Google? Well, clearly, I mean, they're writers, so chances are more than one has a literature degree. You read a lot of random stuff. You know, I mean, like my mother and I. My mother took one literature class when she was at university and decided she didn't like it, and just, it was the one compulsory literature class she had to take in her first year, and despite the fact that she really enjoyed the poems of T.S. Eliot, she didn't want to do anymore. But they stuck with her so much that she, last night, was like, which one is the one that talks about April being the cruelest month? Which is, The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, whose name is an anagram for toilets. I'm so sorry, T.S. Eliot, but if you shuffle the letters around, you get toilets. Tee-hee, tee-hee. I have a literature degree, and I'm a stupid baby. Anyways, I think the early Simpsons folk were all Harvard grads, or mostly Harvard grads. Oh, well, there you go. Bunch of snobs. Anyways, nah, I keyed. I have a sibling who went to a different Ivy League university to do his postgraduate gubbins. And so naturally afterwards he went back to a business-focused college and got a degree that he could actually get a job from. I didn't do that, and that's why I'm here painting things for you on the internet instead of, you know, being a big business boy. And I'm much happier with myself as a result. I have an affirmation request from Leaky, so I'm pulling out my affirmation cards, which I've just dropped on the floor, but that's okay. They're as resilient as I hope that we are able to be with our affirmations at hand. I don't know which one of these I used most recently. But anyways, I think I'm gonna pull this one out. But yes, let me catch up with chat while I shuffle. Katie said, I'm certain the poor chap had someone make that joke at his expense once on No. Cranky says, big respect to you. You have to be unreasonably passionate and singularly focused to get a lit degree. Yeah, I mean, I had a great time. I loved doing it. It was a cultural studies and, like, literature, but mostly literary theory was more my focus than, like, I had to do a lot of, you know, literature, like, reading and analysis and stuff, but I was more interested in the theory stuff. To my detriment as an academic. Because I realized as I got towards the end of my studies in literary theory that, like, there are no jobs for my, like, focus. Like, I'm not employable at this. And, you know, I can attempt to get a doctorate and then try and go into teaching, be horrifically underpaid and have a mental breakdown, or I could just take the knowledge that I've amassed in terms of, like, you know, critical thinking, critical theory, linguistics, psychology, all of the stuff that I learned over the course of my academic career, well, you know, just general, like, media analysis knowledge, and apply it to other stuff. And so subsequently I've applied it to other stuff. Is it as prestigious as, you know, getting to be like a professor of like literary theory and, I don't know, be as incomprehensible as like Jacques Derrida or whatever? No, it's definitely not. But like also, hey, you know, I've gotten to interview like the showrunner of Doctor Who one time. And I've had essays and stories published in various books. I stream things on the internet. I am gearing up to review a 30-year-old Star Trek show on my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, also I have a YouTube channel where I do dumb stuff. Hopefully put my critical thinking skills to good use. Here's a link to it, by the way. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love if you'd consider it. If you want to. You can do that right there. It's free. Anyways. My niece is currently doing English Lit, says Casa. Oh, hell yeah! Good for her! Yeah, but you know shit, that's dope. I know some shit. I know a lot of obscure shit nobody cares about. But, yes. Mimicry says Lit is where you learn ancient forbidden knowledge, like what does the F in F. Scott Fitzgerald stand for? I'm not actually sure. Do I know? Is it... It's gonna be something weird, or it's gonna be like Francis, and I don't know which one. Anyways, Friedrich, says Owlquill. For a while, every guy was either named Wilhelm or Friedrich. Maybe. Anyways, here's our affirmation. A 30-year-old Star Trek show is gonna be far more modern than I think it is, isn't it? I don't want to say leaky. Oh, hell yeah! This is thematically appropriate for me, because I actually just did a painting of Calypso here. I can't show you, because it is a gift, and it is intended to be surprised, so you can't see it yet. But, celebrate your inner goddess. You know what? Hell yeah. I feel like that applies to everybody. Hey, Sunshine? Francis. It is Francis? Oh my god, I guessed F. Scott Fitzgerald F correctly. Sledge just looked it up. It's Francis. Anyways, please consider celebrating your inner goddess, whatever that means to you. I would say celebrating your inner goddess is like, do something for yourself today that makes you feel fabulous in whatever way, shape, or form that takes for you personally. Do something for yourself that makes you feel fabulous. Whether that is, you know, using the sweetheart, no. Remembering to actually use the good moisturizer after coming out of the shower. I did that today, and I smelled like white tea and, what was it, cedarwood maybe? I don't know. It smells really pretty, though. If this paperwork goes through, I'm getting yakiniku. Ooh, you know what? I would say that your inner goddess would approve. I don't know, maybe that is wearing, you know, a shirt that is a mildly impractical color, but that you think looks really good on you. Or maybe that is staying up to watch an extra episode of Star Trek Academy. I don't know. Like, I don't care. do whatever, like, celebrates your inner goddess to you. Do something for yourself that makes you feel fabulous today. I don't know, maybe that's making yourself another cup of tea. But whatever it is, I hope that you do it. Because you deserve it. You deserve to celebrate yourself and be good to yourself. Your inner goddess will thank you. Anywho, we are about to have an ad, so I'm going to pop on the BRB screen so that y'all don't miss anything. Cranky says, or the other Japanese place nearby. Ooh, umaboshi. Umaboshi spritzers and tonkatsu. That sounds delightful. Love that for you. I'm having soup tonight. But in the meantime, I'm going to disappear before we have ads. You're not going to miss anything. I'm sorry if you have ads, but I'll be right back. BRB. Hello! Hi, everybody. I'm back. Sorry about that. Hello. Leaky says, R.I.P. Starfleet Academy. We only got 2 seasons, or if it was 90s Trek, we didn't even get 1 entire season. Yeah. I understand the reasoning behind, like, the shorter 10-episode seasons to a certain extent, and I also am aware of the fact that, like, when they were doing those 25-episode or whatever seasons back in the day, that was so much. that was like so much work for everyone and quite a grind. Like, I get it, but having shorter seasons often means that, you know, you don't have space for all of those filler episodes. And the filler episodes are often my favorite episodes, you know what I mean? We gotta do One Piece rules, 150 to 280 episode seasons. Oh god. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind that as an entertainment enjoyer. But that is a lot of work. Katie says, I feel like if Starfleet Academy came out in the 90s, it would have gotten more episodes at least for a bit. I think it wouldn't have been... I think it probably... I want to say it would have gotten like 4 seasons or 5 seasons. Or it would have ended up in that situation like, okay, well, the main cast has graduated from the academy because it's a 4-year program, but they're all just still here for some reason. Why? Now they've got teaching jobs, and then it runs for another 3 seasons, and, like, they're, like, mentoring students or being teaching assistants or something. Because they liked to do that, you know? They're like, okay, let's set a story in, like, a university, and it's like, oh, but everyone's graduated, so they're gonna be leaving. What are we going to do about the cast? And it's just like, let's just all give them teaching jobs. And now they're the teachers, which is like, that's not how it works. That's not how it ever works. Anyways, Cranky says Sammy's BRB music makes me think Jan Tiersen every time. Ooh, nice. But, oh man, there was a anniversary screening of the movie Amélie, who Jan Tiersen did the soundtrack for, at our local cinema, and I wanted to go real bad, but also it just made me feel so very old because it's the 25th anniversary of that movie, and I'm like, no. I mean, I know, but hey, you know? Anyways, I guess I'll have to pay our animators and writers. Crying emoji, says Cranky. Yeah, I guess I wish they would do that anyways. I need to fix my piano. You should definitely do it. Definitely do it. Maybe once it's all moved into your new place when you've moved. Next step, piano fixture. But yeah, I think over 60 episodes was kind of normal for animated series for a while, says Alquil. Yeah. I think you're right. Syndication related. Yeah, it's like when you hit a certain number of episodes, then it can go into syndication. I think there's something about that, for sure. Anyways, it's so good though. She's my only manic pixie dream girl. I saw the anniversary of Titanic in theaters. No regrets. I was the only one that there and cried. Oh, Cranky. I did watch Titanic a few years ago. I used to do like a film podcast where we'd talk about old movies, and we did Titanic, I believe. I did not cry, but I did have a fun time. It is, you know, it's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good movie. I think my moderator / spouse just shouted, "No, it's not," from the other room. Is that what you said? He hates it. He says the only thing worse than it is Avatar. No, I did not like Avatar. So, fair. But yeah, anyways. But yeah, Amélie was a good movie. This is so specific, but I loved the color grading in that movie. I loved the color grading in that movie. I thought it was so good. I think my favorite thing about Titanic is the "it's been 84 years" meme. Because I love a good meme. And I can relate. Anyways, what was my point? My point was, oh yeah, just being horrified at the passage of time. I can't stop the tears, sue me. I'm not going to read that out because it's potentially a spoiler. Oh, sorry. I read the other day a headline from, I guess it was like an interview with the actor Bill Hader. I didn't read the article, but he said that he once got fired from a movie theater job because he spoiled the end of Titanic for a group of teenage girls who were making fun of him. at his job. And they were going to see Titanic. And I really hope that the spoiler that he spoilered for Titanic for them was just as they were on their way into the cinema, that he just shouted, "The ship sinks, by the way." I really hope that was it. Which, I mean, is technically a spoiler, but also, you know, I feel like the statute of limitations had expired on that spoiler. But also, 100%, I'm sure there were people who went to see Titanic and didn't know what happens to Titanic. Like, Kirsty says, how can you not know what happens to Titanic? There will be people who didn't know. There will be, 100%. I am entirely sure of it. That'd be 1916, right? There was, oh, you know, that reminds me, 120 years now. Oh, jeez. What is time? What is time? What is time? Anyways, that's not 120 years, it's 110 years. I was very confused for a second. But anyways, there was a brand of, you know how you can buy, like, if you're having like a party or something like that, you can buy like a bag of just like ice. Usually in like a little outdoor freezer at like the gas station, for your party, so you can put stuff on ice. There was an ice company called the Titanic Ice Company who sold bags of ice cubes. Can you guess what their logo was? If you guessed a ship sinking next to a big old iceberg, you'd be correct. Oh no! Mimicry says, sure glad that humanity got rid of its hubris since. Oh, I know, right? We definitely learned so much from that. Cranky says, I switched from engineering to manufacturing for a reason. Valid. But, yeah, the Titanic Ice Company. Oh no. Oh, beans. And indeed, cheese pizza. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna attempt to do this thing. This pattern is so stinking weird that I'm just not remotely assured that I'm doing this correctly. But I'm making the best of it as best as I can. And probably ultimately just making it way too busy, but here we are. So I'm just gonna say that this one goes here. Yeah, my brush needs to be slightly more wet because that is a lot of paint. Okay. And make sure that these little corners touch. Doop-de-doo. Anyways, I have no idea if anyone will be interested in me reviewing, like, episodes of a TV show that was on 30 years ago on my YouTube channel. But on the other hand, very few people are interested in anything else on my YouTube channel apart from people who, like, already watch this Twitch, which is a very elite group of select, very special chosen people. So, that's fine. And probably a much smaller subset will watch me talking at length about, the writing choices and cinematic language used in, for example, the very best episode of season 1 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Move Along Home, which I love. And if you think it's a bad episode, you're wrong. Anyways. Objectively so. Anyways. Leaky says, I always think yay for workers' rights when I remember that the families of the Titanic crew received A, pay up until the point that the ship sunk, and B, a bill for lost uniforms. This is a cozy stream where we are whimsical. This is a whimsical stream for whimsy. I am not going to Hulk smash. But Leaky, this knowledge is testing me. Oh my god. That is, pardon my French, that is fucking terrible. No. Get in the garbage. Anyways. Unbelievable. Shut up, I'm excited for the YouTube, says Cranky. Oh, thank you. I'm still mad I didn't know it existed sooner, but you know now, so you've got a back catalog as well. Al Quill says, I'm pretty sure there are people interested in DS9 commentary. I hope so, because I've got a lot of things to say. A lot of them are probably stupid. Time to go on a whimsy riot. Yeah! I am actually, speaking of whimsy, I am planning to do, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm thinking probably for my next shop update, I want to do a little sticker that is a little, like, book plate. Like, you know when you put a little, like, ex libris, this book belongs to, in the front page of a book? I want to design one of those. I've been thinking of doing one for, like, months now, and I'm like, you know, I should probably actually just do that. So, that is on my docket of things to do for the next update. And I'm just trying to figure out what the best version of a thing that could be is. I'm kind of between Terry, a bird, or a paper drake. Because my paper drake design was very popular. I could do, like, a rehash of that and make it into a little ex libris. I think that would be really cute. But also, Terry sitting on a toadstool reading a book. Super cute. Or just a bird on a stack of books. Super cute. Don't know which do. Maybe I'll do, like, a 3-pack so you can just put little ex libris in all of your bookies. I don't know. Would people want that? I hope so. Do people who watch my streams read books? I assume so. Or at the very least, occasionally purchase books, and then don't read them, like I often do. Shh, it's fine. Anyways, buying books is a different hobby to reading books. Don't forget it. Anyways. Maybe it's just an untrue internet fact, says Mimicry. You know, I usually don't hope that things are fake, but sometimes I wish it was fake. Anyways, I would love a whimsy riot. Holy crap, let's get the costumes ready, says Cranky. Yes, that would be delightful. Whimsy riot, whimsy riot. I don't even know what that would look like, but I bet it would be delightful. But book plate sounds fun, says Katie. Oh, hell yeah. I'll stock up on proper minerals to make sure our Molotovs... Wait. Our Molotovs go off in all the most fun colors. Yay! It sounds delightful. If you thought Jack had old hands when sketching Rose, it's because his hands were played by James Cameron, says Leaky. I confess I was not looking at Jack's hands in that scene. Hi. I'm bi, anyways. Oh look, a queer animal having a nice time on a ship's door bobbing along on the water. Thank you. I have read books, says Tiles. I may do so again. I used to, says Alcool, but my brain kind of lost the knack. I'm trying to get back into it. Cranky says, ha ha ha, gay. And also bi. Jack had hands, says Kirsty. Is that a spoiler for Titanic? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways. Okay. Right, this one's next. But yeah. What was my point? And did I have one? I'm not sure I did. Hello, chat. I hope you're well. I have no idea what time it is. What time is it? Okay, alright. Pigeon, hello! Jack defo liked hands. Oh, I see. Oh my, is this leaky? I don't think anyone was looking at Jack's hands in that scene, and if you say you were, you're lying, says Katie. Yeah, I mean, come on. Anyways. I think they could have used Kermit's hands and nobody would notice. It's Kirsty, you're right. Okay, news time already. Bye, thanks a lot for the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by, Alquill. It was wonderful to see you as always. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, genuinely. Any hands could be there and we would not have noticed. That's so funny. That is so funny. I mean, come on. It's, Kate Winslet's a beautiful woman, okay? I don't know. The thing about being the thing about being, now this is obviously, my experience is not universal. This is just my personal experience, but my personal experience of being bi and also, you know, pretty non-beanie, is that anyone that I fancy in a gay way. That's it. That's all. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, regardless of what gender my moderator / spouse is, I love him in a gay way. Anyways, don't ask me to explain. It's just a vibe. But yeah. To be fair, says Leaky, I noticed this on my 6th watch. Okay, that's valid. Pigeon says same. Any crushes I get are always gay. Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a vibe. It's a feeling. It makes sense inside my brain. I'm gonna take a sip of one of my teas. I think this one that I've been having, by the way, is pineapple mint. It's almost gone. Cranky says, oh shit, does your partner know they're trans yet? No. No, they are, I would say, as far as I'm aware, very cis. But, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I've been around this block before. Yeah, I know, but I do think that they're pretty cis. Having examined, you know, done a lot of soul searching, I think, over the years, I think they have arrived at the conclusion that yes, am guy. I arrived at the conclusion of question marks about myself. My gender is ADHD. And that is a gender that you can have. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Anyways, if you don't get that reference, you're probably not a North American of a certain age. Don't talk about your ages, chat, for safety reasons. We are an adult stream for grown-ups, but we try and keep things vague when it comes to talking about our own ages, because I want to make sure that if there are any minors lurking in the chat, which they should not be, because this is an adult stream for grown-ups, but if they are, we want to make sure that they don't, you know, make themselves vulnerable by being like, hey, I'm 14 years old. Which is a bad idea. Don't do that, kids. Privacy. Privacy is important. You don't have to tell everyone everything about yourself. I overshare because this is my stream. And that's different. But anyways. That's my gender too, says Pigeon. Yay! High fives for you! Oh my god, I say that G.I. Joe thing all the time, even though I think it was called Action Force in the UK. And that Action Force, I feel like, doesn't flow the same way, but that's really interesting to know. I didn't know that. Cranky says, my age is I've watched multiple artists and musicians go from closeted to transitioned over the course of me being fans with them. Me too! That's always fun. My gender is ADHD, says Casa. High fives to you too! My age is different today. Wait. Is that because is it your birthday, Casa, is it your birthday? Oh my god, I don't have any. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Oh my goodness, I don't have it. I wish I had like a little party popper or something that I could do, streamers or anything that I could do to celebrate your birthday. What can I do? What can I do to Wait. Oh, geez. Is there anything that I can do that is a celebratory? I'm like looking around the room to see if there's anything that's like celebratory and fun. Shoot. Just make a pop noise and burst into confetti, says Kirsty. Of course, why don't I just do that? Anyways, happy birthday to you. Congratulations. That's why I was off working at the I did know that you went to the Botanical Gardens, and that sounded so cool and fun. I hope you had an amazing time. I hope you had an absolutely amazing time. And I'm sorry I didn't get you a present. Oh, I feel like such a bad streamer. I didn't get you a gift. Can I give you the gift of this beautiful sand shrew? Happy birthday. Have an in focus sand shrew. Yay! Ta-da! I did it. Anyways, a very, very, very happy birthday to you, and I hope that the remainder of your day continues to be celebratory and cool and fun and good and amazing. And I hope that the year that you are this age is full of surprises and joy and delight and light and love and success and rest and all kinds of good stuff. I'm very happy you were born, and I'm very happy that we know each other, and I'm very happy that it's your birthday, and I wish you a happy birthday. I was about to say, you don't know where I live, but I have Sammy art, so you must have had it, probably. I must have done, yeah. I don't remember, though, so that's good. Your privacy is maintained. And absolutely no accidents. Absolutely none whatsoever. Yes, and don't forget the whimsy. Agreed. But that's awesome. I'm glad that you got to do some cool stuff to celebrate as well. The botanical garden rocks. And I love that for you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah to the birthday friend. A good time to be. And thank you for letting us know so we could celebrate you. Hell yes. On Thursday I'm going to the zoo to feed the fruit bats. That's so exciting. Oh my goodness, I love that for you. I hope that the bats are batting, and I hope that you have an amazing time. That is so stinking cute. That is so stinking cute. I'm so jealous, this pigeon. That is genuinely cool as heck. Very much so. Moment. Yeah, anyways. What was my point? I forget what my point is. Wait, what? Sorry, let me just catch up with chat. Feeding them from the fruit you're stealing from the garden to do this memory? I should certainly hope not. Oh dear. Anyways, okay, anyways, what was I about to do? I was about to say or do something, and now I forget what it was, because my brain is mush. My brain is extremely mush, but that's okay. Anyways, please accept. Look. Oh God. What? No. Wait. Did I just break it? Did I just break? Oh. Okay. I don't know what just happened. I tried to give you a bat, and I don't think it worked. Oh no. Wait, where did it go? Why is it not visible? Okay, that's weird. What happens if I oh no, what happens if I delete it? Now I have concern. Can you see a bat, chat? Cuz I don't see a bat. What happens if I hold? Okay, we're still present. Good. Okay. Was that sound your audio? Yes. Oh no. There was a dark spot. There was a dark shape of some sort, says Katie. Yay. And that was my PC, and then I remembered I'm not using Windows, so I don't get that alert. Ah, shoot. Okay, let me try this again. This is extremely stupid, but I don't have anything else. But I can show you a bat. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, yay. It's visible. It's much too large. Wait, there. Okay, it's a bat. Happy birthday, please enjoy your bat. Now, obviously, this is a vampire bat, so they're drinking blood rather than fruit. But I don't know. It could be a raspberry smoothie, right? Anyways, the blood type is B positive because they're just a jolly little guy. But yes, happy Bat Day. I'm sorry it didn't work correctly. Anyways, Cranky says, there's a tree in my local doctor's office where people stick a bunch of bananas and pineapples to the branches. Oh, for the bats each night. That is so cute. That is so cute. Big bat. I think I managed to successfly it could be pomegranate juices, says Cranky. Yeah, B plus raspberry smoothie. Yeah, delicious. You are what you eat, and that bat eats B positive. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's just a jolly little guy. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. When I finally managed to get it to work. I'm sorry that was so challenging. But, hey, it's me. I'm challenging. So, you know. What does one expect? My moderator / spouse has just put something in the chat. Do I dare click on it? I probably won't be able to show it on stream. Partially because copyright and partially because I'll break my computer, but what is it? What? Oh, yay! I do believe that is...
Bat!
Actually, can I get that to... Hold. I might be able to, I might be able to do it. Wait. Because you heard the audio, and if you know what the audio is from, then you know what you're about to see. But if you don't, then you don't. Anyways, thank you again, Jam. Okay. Hopefully this isn't auto... If it's autoplay... Yay, it's not autoplaying.
Bat!
I mean, to be fair, if I transformed into a bat, I would also want to shout bat first.
Bat!
Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. No, stop it! Stop it! No, everything's broken! No!
Bat!
No, I can't get it to stop! YouTube, stop! Ah! Jump scare Kirsty art. Sorry! Not sorry. Everyone please like Kirsty. Kirsty is the genius behind Hollow Knight Art Month, which we're doing shortly. So here, have a shout out. I look forward to speed running all of those beautiful, beautiful prompts. Nothing beats an EasyJet holiday, says Mimicry. Tal says, I suddenly feel like a holiday. No! I tell you, I hate those holiday ads. I mean, it's a lovely cue for the SFX folks, says Katie. That is true. I hate those holiday ads just because I get them so frequently that it's ruining that song for me. I think that's a fun, silly little song, but I hear it so frequently because of those stupid ads for EasyJet that now I'm just annoyed by it. So, thanks, EasyJet. Also, none of those holidays are ever anywhere that I will actually, like, want to go. Kirsty says, every year I find a new unhinged way to say creator of Holiday Art Month, and this year I'm going for Brood Mother! Oh, God. Katie says, the one I've heard is, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Oh. Did you see, someone uploaded a delightful video just absolutely dunking on their hotel room with that audio behind it. They were saying, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, and they go up to their, they go up to the window of their room, and the window's, like, curtained off, and they fling open the curtains, and you just see, it's just a wall with, like, a window, like, this size, and the rest of it is just wall, but it's just entirely covered in curtains. It's like, why? What is the point of this? Kirsty says, I annoyed my friends while watching the integrity pod coming down by screaming this in the chat. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Also, I'm dead now. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Leaky, thank you very much for the hydrate. Oh, Kirsty says, Sammy, don't die. Oh, I very much nearly had a tea comes out my nose giggle at that. Which may have made things worse. But I'm okay. But yeah, oh. Now I'm just thinking about bad hotel design. It's always, I mean, sometimes it's just like a necessary annoyance that you end up in a hotel where, like, the, the, uh, the window faces onto, like, an ugly car park or something like that. But, like, man, some designs are just stupid. Apologizes in Canadian. Thank you. Some designs are just stupid. Like, there was a hotel that I used to, and this is apparently not an uncommon thing these days. Hotels where it's clearly intended to like be occupied by more than one person, and then they don't have a proper, like, doors and walls for the bathroom area. Like, it's just vaguely frosted glass. And, like, no. And sometimes it's just glass. It's just like, even if I'm staying there with my partner, I still maybe want a little bit of privacy when I'm, like, you know, peeing and pooping and stuff. Can we have an opaque wall with a door, please? And also, if there isn't a proper door and somebody needs to do, like, a smelly toilet when you're sharing the room with someone, it's basically like, okay, I have to plan my visit to the bathroom to know that we are going to leave the room immediately afterwards because there isn't a door between the bathroom and the rest of the room. Stupid design! Bad design! Stop doing it! I don't like it. Anyways, that's my rant. Leaky says, I stayed in a hotel earlier this year that wasn't great. On the final night, my bathroom suddenly stank of cigarette smoke out of nowhere, got moved to the top floor. It was like a different hotel, newly renovated and fancy. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry you hadn't just been there the whole time. That's so annoying. Tal says, I was in a room like that, but it was very much not a room for two. Yeah. I mean, sometimes a room is just clearly for a person. But oftentimes they will say that, like, sleeps two. Unless it's, like, one single bed. I have stayed in a hotel where I slept in a single bed as opposed to a double bed. That room was teeny tiny. And I specifically selected the hotel because it was near the railway station and they said that they had Wi-Fi. And this was back in, like, 2010, 2011, so it wasn't a given that every single hotel was going to have free Wi-Fi available in the rooms. There was still no Wi-Fi, or yes, there's Wi-Fi, but you have to pay extra. Both of which suck. This place had Wi-Fi nominally, but it was an old building, and the Wi-Fi, like, the one router that they had was at the front of the building. So if you were in a room at the back of the building, you got no Wi-Fi signal, and it basically just didn't work. And they're like, oh, well, you know, you can come down to the lobby and use the Wi-Fi there because the signal's better. And it's like, no, I got a hotel room with Wi-Fi so that I can sit in my pajim jams at night eating pick and mix, watching bad TV, and, you know, like, emailing the folks back home. Not so I can get dressed, go sit in the lobby, and quietly, you know, do internets. What the hell? No. Garbage. Do not recommend. Even the staircase carpet changed from the 7th floor up. It was odd. That's weird. I mean, I do know that, like, especially for a large hotel, they oftentimes do have to do renovations in stages. So they're not just, like, the entire place isn't just closed for a really long period of time, which presumably they'd lose a lot more money if they did it that way. But also, yeah, it feels a little bit bad if they happen to be in the middle of renovations and you get a room on one of the floors that hasn't been newly renovated and it just is run down and sucks, and you're paying the same as someone who gets a nice newly renovated room. Boo earns! Katie says there's nothing wrong with a hotel room being designed for one occupant. Agreed. However, don't list such a room for sleeping any more than one guest. Also agreed. And that I think goes with the situation with as regards, like, the the bathroom having an actual door. Like, if you are going to not give the bathroom an actual door, do not imply in any way, shape, or form that more than one person can sleep here. 'Cause, like, no, ew. Not everyone has that relationship with someone they're willing to share a room with, you know what I mean? There's sleeping in the same bed, and then there's, I can literally see you through the glass door doing a pee. Not everyone's on those terms. You know, imagine, like, imagine you're, like, sharing a hotel room with, like, a parent or something. Like, you want some privacy. Come on, it's weird. Anyways, I do just think those designs are really stupid. And sometimes it's also not obvious from the photos on the website either. Which, this is part of the reason that my moderator / spouse and I these days, when we are planning to stay in hotels, we're very picky. And that doesn't mean that we stay in, like, expensive hotels. If the city that we're going to has an Ibis, we'll just stay at the Ibis because we know where we are with the Ibis, you know? Typically they're close to public transit of some kind. Typically they're not especially expensive. And typically they are clean and fairly predictable. I like clean and fairly predictable. I especially like, though that being said, there was one Ibis that we stayed in that did not have a kettle in the room. So we couldn't make, like, a cup of tea in the evening after we got back to the hotel room, and that was very sad. Now, they did have a machine in the lobby where you could get, like, you know, like, hot water for tea, or, like, it would make coffees and hot chocolates and that kind of thing. But we never used it because I wasn't clear on whether or not you had to pay extra for those. And I definitely didn't want to pay extra for those because, like, hotel room coffee and tea is never very good. That's why it's included. Yeah, it was weird. That was in Brussels. So if you're staying in Brussels at the Ibis, don't expect to be able to make teas and coffees in your room because you just don't get a kettle. It sucks. We had to go to Dunkin' Donuts at like 8 p.m. so that I could get a hot chocolate. Anyways. Katie says, also have rooms that have only one trash can for the entire suite, not exactly designed with women / menstruating persons in mind. Oh, absolutely. They've got to have one that has like a lid on it as well for that very reason, you know? Like if you need to bin like any kind of like sanitary, you know, like pads or whatever, you need bins for that. Come on. This should be a no-brainer, but sometimes these things are not designed by people who have these issues and therefore just do not think of them, unfortunately. But yeah. I'm sorry that y'all got earworm jump scared by the EasyJet. I now have that music stuck in my head. Which is like, I get fed those stupid ads so often, and I'm like, I'm not going to any of these destinations. We are thinking, if we can afford it, of going to Germany later this summer. For a couple of days. I think that might be fun. But we haven't booked anything yet. And that's not going to be with any of the companies that keep advertising to us. We also get a lot of adverts for, like, come visit this, like, faraway country that is an extremely hot climate, and, like, never mind the, you know, sort of precarious legal status of queer people here. Just come look at our beautiful theme parks and food. And I'm like, if I cannot wear a pride pin in your country without being arrested, I'm not touristing there. Are you effing kidding me? No. Come to Scotland, says Kirsty. I would dearly love to, actually. I think that would be very fun. Can you believe to learn to know I've never been to Scotland yet? I've been living in this landmass for so long, and I have not yet been. It needs to make it be less expensive. Because I'm poor. I think there was an event last year, and it's actually taking place again this year, that I was encouraged to attend, that was in Scotland. But it was like, several days in November, my moderator slash spouse wouldn't be interested in attending, so I'd be going all by myself, and I was like, no, because I don't travel without my dude if I can avoid it. Is it KirstyCon? I mean, I'm sure he would be interested in attending KirstyCon, to be fair. When Kirsty rules the world. Yes. Also, where can I? When is the election happening for electing Kirsty to world leader? Let me know. Because you have my vote, and my sword, and my bow. I definitely have all of these things. I mean, we do have a foam sword somewhere. I used it in my pirate costume when I was a pirate a couple of years ago. Hold. I used it when I was a pirate. I used a beautiful and very realistic looking, it is extremely unrealistic looking, it's a child's foam sword. As soon as I figured out how to paint properly, says Kirsty, you are an amazing painter. What are you talking about? My list is literally learn to paint properly in Rule World. You are an amazing painter. What are you talking about? You're definitely ready for world domination, obviously. Okay. This one is brown. Deep. Now I'm into the scary territory of having to make sure that I don't accidentally paint over parts of Unnar. Because they would be sad and confused by that. They'd be like, hello? That's not supposed to be that colour. That's supposed to be the colour of Goblin, they would say. Okay, cool. Anyways, they're such a chill little dude. Such a chill little dude. Check him out. I've just seen what time it is. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna have to end soon because I don't want you guys to see another ad break, and also I need to cook dinner. So I'm just gonna try and speed run the rest of this row, and then I'll find somewhere to raid into. Beans. Anyways, I believe it's this one. And then this one. Okay. Wizard. Anyways. Oh, now I've just got like a running playlist of music from recent adverts stuck in my head. Oh no. Casa says you could visit me for a low sum. It might not be exciting, but we have 2 botanical gardens and a chocolate factory. What do you mean not exciting? Like, number 1, Casa is there. Number 2, 2 botanical gardens. Number 3, chocolate? Are you kidding? That's amazing. This art is so cute, says Kirsty. No, you are. So there. I'm suddenly very sleepy, says Leaky, so I'm going to end being in chat. Thanks for the stream. Thank you so much, Leaky, and I hope you have a good rest. Thank you. I am going to finish this row, and then I think we will call it there for today. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Am I doing this pattern correctly? I don't know. Probably not. I am taking some liberties with the original design, but I think that's okay. I think that's all right. I am also going to be, in the summertime, I am spending some time with the in-laws down the Jurassic Coast. So, apparently I get to look for dinosaurs. So I will be bringing my Dr. Ellie Sattler cosplay with me to wear on the beach. Because I am extremely silly, and one year I noticed that Uniqlo was selling exactly the right shirt and shorts as just regular garments that would comprise that cosplay, and I was like, I have to do it. So I bought the shirt and I bought the shorts and I wore it once. As long as the pattern doesn't end up being on the goblin, says Katie, you're good. Thank you. Tal says, ooh, that's exciting. Remember that they can only see you if you move. Well, the good news is actually, no. The bad news is I'm genuinely not very good at holding it, like, sitting still. So I might be in trouble there. Uh-oh. Never mind. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, I've completed that row, so I'm going to call it for today. And we will come back to it next time, which will be on... Today's Monday, it'll be Thursday. Okay, it'll be Thursday, we'll come back to this. And I'm going to be speed running some Hollow Knight brainstorming and sketches in the meantime, because I got to get this done before I leave for a foreign country. Oh boy. But I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to the Hollow Knight Silk Song Art Month, Gubbins month. I just dropped a bunch of paints, but don't worry about that. It's fine. Oh, I just hit the camera and I'm so sorry. But let's see if there's anyone we can raid. I'm sure somebody is up to something. So let's take a look and see who is around. Did I not have? Shoot. Did I not have my moderator screen up the entire time? Good thing I didn't have to do any moderatorial stuff. Never mind. Let's see who's available to raid. If this thing will load, that would be great. Okay. Alright. Who's online? Who have we not done a raid on in a while? Who's doing something kind of like art? Anyways, yeah, thank you all for hanging out with me today. I look forward to continuing this, and hopefully, now that I've figured out how the pattern works, I think I can be a little bit faster at doing it, perhaps? We could maybe make an effort to be slightly faster at doing it. That would be extremely cool, but I guess we'll see how that goes. In any case, let's get a raid started. Let me do a little raid, and thank you again for hanging out with me today. Shall we? Yeah, why not? Raid channel. Let's go raid Band, because he's really fun and really nice and does really neat stuff, and it's a cool place to hang out, and is doing some kind of funky creature, which looks like a good time. So let's go say hi to Band, because he's fun. I'm popping a raid message in the chat. Feel free to grab it with the emotes if you have the emotes. If you do not have the emotes, you can just say a generic raid message and append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. I'm gonna be making some soup now. So, have a nice time in the meantime. There is the thingy. I've been waffling for too long, so, yeah, I'm just gonna, my camera has been extremely overexposed for a while, so I'm gonna attempt to fix that. Once my camera starts overexposing, you know it's time to leave. So, yeah, thanks everyone. Good night and good luck.